The moment that changed everything. If I had ignored that crumpled $5 bill on the sidewalk that day, my life would have never changed. But I picked it up, and what happened next was something I could never have imagined. I never believed in fate, never thought that one small choice could change everything. But as I stood there, staring at that bill, lying on the wet pavement, something inside me hesitated. The wind howled. The rain dripped onto the bill, and then I saw it. There was something written on it. Use this wisely. Your fate is in your hands. A chill ran down my spine. My fingers tightened around the bill. My first thought? It had to be a joke, a prank. Someone probably scribbled on it and left it there to mess with people, right? But then, why did it feel different? Why did I feel like this wasn't just some random dollar bill? I shook my head, stuffing it into my pocket. It was just money, just $5, nothing more. Or at least, that's what I thought. To understand why this moment was important, you need to understand something about me. My name is Ethan Carter. And at that moment in my life, I was at my lowest. I had lost everything. My job, my savings, my hope. The walls of my tiny apartment felt like they were closing in, suffocating me. The bills on my table were stacking higher and higher, each one a reminder that I was drowning. And my bank account? $1.37. That's all I had left. Not even enough to buy a meal. My phone buzzed. Another final notice from my landlord. If I didn't come up with rent by the end of the week, I was out. No second chances. I exhaled, pressing my fingers against my temples. How had my life come to this? That night, I walked the city streets, lost in my own thoughts. The bright lights of the storefronts, the laughter of people in restaurants, it all felt like a world I no longer belonged to. And then, that's when I saw it. A $5 bill lying on the sidewalk, soaked from the rain. Most people wouldn't even bother picking it up, but to me, it was the only money I had. But something about it was strange. That message, that cryptic message. Use this wisely. Your fate is in your hands. I had no idea what that meant, but I was about to find out. The cold air bit at my skin as I walked into a 24-hour convenience store. My stomach growled. A microwave meal cost $4.99. I grabbed one and stood in line, staring at the bill in my hand. It felt weird, heavier than it should. I was about to pay when I saw something outside. A homeless man sitting on the sidewalk. His clothes were thin, barely enough to keep out the cold. He was shivering, his eyes locked onto the store's food section like he hadn't eaten in days. Our eyes met. For a long moment I stood there, torn. This was my money, my only money. If I gave it away, I had nothing. But something inside me whispered, "This isn't about you." I exhaled, stepped outside, and handed the man the $5 bill. "Here, get something warm." His hands trembled as he took it. His lips parted slightly, but no words came out. His eyes glistened with something raw. Then, in a shaky voice, he whispered, "You have no idea what this means to me." I didn't know what to say. I just nodded and walked away. And that's when the impossible started happening. The next morning, I woke up to a notification on my phone. New email, job opportunity. I frowned, clicked it open. My heart nearly stopped. It was from a company I had applied to months ago, one I had long forgotten about. "We reviewed your application again. We'd love to meet you for an interview." I sat there, stunned. Why now? Why out of the blue? But things only got stranger. I arrived at the office, my hands sweaty, my nerves on fire. The receptionist led me to a meeting room. I sat down, waiting for the hiring manager. Then the door opened, and I froze. It was him, the homeless man, but now he was clean-shaven, wearing an expensive suit, holding my resume in his hands. I felt my world tilt. My brain tried to process what I was seeing, but nothing made sense. He smiled, Saturday down across from me. "We meet again, Mr. Carter." My throat went dry. I don't understand." His smile didn't fade. "I was never homeless," he said, folding his hands. "I was looking for someone." I blinked. "Someone who chooses kindness, even when they have nothing." My heart pounded. He slid a contract across the desk, a 6-figure job offer. I stared at it, then back at him. Why me?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He leaned forward, his expression serious. "Because when the universe gave you a choice, you chose right." That night, I sat in my apartment, staring at my wallet. My fingers trembled as I opened it, and my breath caught. The $5 bill was there, but that was impossible. I had given it away. I picked it up, turned it over, and there it was, the same message: "Use this wisely. Your fate is in your hands." A lump formed in my throat. I sat there, my mind spinning. Was it fate? A test? A second chance? Or something far beyond my comprehension? And then I knew what I had to do. I picked up a pen. Carefully, I rewrote the same message on the bill. Then I walked outside, found a quiet sidewalk, and placed it on the ground for someone else to find. Because sometimes the smallest choices lead to the biggest changes. So let me ask you, if you found a $5 bill today, what would you do with it? Because you never know, it might just change everything. Subscribe for more life-changing stories.